So let's get to the punchline. Who is Feyd, or who can we guess is Feyd, and what exactly is he up to? Well, again, according to all the evidence I can gather, and again, we can't be for sure, I don't have any inside sources, it's going to be Ty Sheridan. And if you don't know who Ty is, Ty essentially played Cyclops in the recent X-Men films. He's also been in Ready Player One. He's done a few things, but he's not like a huge name. And I don't mind him as an actor, but does he fit Feyd? That we shall see. So why do we say this? Well, there are two bits of evidence, and again, admittedly, these are weak pieces of evidence. Got to take them for what they are, and they're a little weird. They're not contradictory, but they are a little strange. So what's the first piece? Well, this has actually been known a little bit among hardcore Dune fans, but IMDb, which is a website which is known for this, had him listed for a little bit as Feyd. He was actually listed officially as Feyd for the Dune project, but then very quickly his name disappeared, and now we have nothing for Feyd. So we can either go two ways. Either IMDb just messed up, or somebody hacked the system and they listed Ty as Feyd, but it wasn't true. Or the alternative is they actually got it completely right, but the production company contacted them and just really asked them nicely, please get rid of that. We don't want this revealed. We want this as a secret for the movie. Please get rid of that listing. And they obeyed. And again, in terms of IMDb and the rest of the cast, they've been pretty accurate. But presumably they want to preserve that secret, and for whatever reason just got rid of the Ty Feyd listing. Could also be that they did in fact hire Ty, but they decided to finally backtrack and said, ooh, okay, I think we made a mistake. So he was playing Feyd, but they've changed their minds. But they don't want to admit that. IMDb has a kind of weird track record just for one major case. Denzel Washington was listed as being in Death Wish, and he had to tell a reporter, nope, that's not true. I know I'm listed there, but that is not true. So IMDb has been caught sometimes just getting it wrong in a very spectacular fashion. So we have to be careful. So that's one piece of evidence. But now we have a second piece of evidence, which is more substantive and very powerful because, as we're going to see, there is actually independent checking. And this is that somebody took a photo on the set of Dune, and we basically got a preview of the cast. And we can't make out the photos very well. They're very, very little smudgy. But if we look closely, we can make out a lot of the main cast. And this is important because one of the minor roles of one of the soldiers, played by Paul, has actually been confirmed. It had him as a soldier, and it has his photo. Again, it's a little fuzzy. You have to be careful, right? Given the limits of technology, we can only get so much close into the photo. But it turned out, yes, that was true. Paul is going to play a soldier, and he is in the photo. Now, again, with both pieces of evidence, it could be totally made up. It could be somebody made up the IMDb post and just tricked IMDb. Okay, that's perfectly possible. And even with this photo, it could be a totally manipulated photo. That is totally possible, that somebody's just having fun because they're aware of Reddit, they're aware of the Dune fandom, and they're just feeding something and feeding a false hope. But we can't say for sure. However, they'd have to do it in a way that they just paralleled the announcement of Paul as a soldier. And remember, this is a very minor role, so that's really strange that they would be so accurate with a minor character. So if they got Paul right, then they're probably getting Ty Sheridan, because we also see Ty Sheridan. Again, it's a little hard to make him out, but he's there, so you're gonna, Now again, it could be, yes, he's in the production, but he's in a very minor role, and he's not playing Feyd. But again, given the roles he's played, and given that they probably want somebody to fight Timothée Chalamet, and they want within the same age group, and again, I'm not into Ty that much, but Ty sort of has a female fan base, you got to think in terms of marketing and in terms of age appropriateness. It does make sense that they'd pick somebody like him. But can we say for sure? We can't really say for sure. These are both very flawed pieces of evidence, and we have to be very careful what we make of them. It could be the poster was made up, the photo is made up, and the IMDb listing is made up. But we do have some independent evidence with Paul, so we're kind of stuck. It's like, well, so what's going on? Well, again, the most we can probably say is even if he is playing Feyd, maybe Denis has changed his mind, and they filmed things with him, decided ultimately, no, this is not the right choice. We really can't list him officially as coming into the film. Now, we do know he's definitely going to be in part 2, The real controversy is over part 1. Is he going to even show up as a cameo? Because in terms of the book, he does show up in the early chapters. It seems the script will be very, very faithful to the book. It could just be they are changing the episodes that are done in the book, and they're like, okay, we're not going to have that right away. We're going to do something with that later. And he is an ally of the Baron, so it's sort of like, well, how's this going to work out? It could be that the Baron does have a conversation with him, but not in person, or several other possibilities. So we do sort of get Feyd, but we don't really see him, or we don't even get his voice. I'd say that's unlikely. I'm sure we're going to get a cameo, and maybe people at the test screenings missed like who the cameo was, because again, you have to be very familiar with the source material, and or they don't know who Ty is. Again, he's not a big actor, so he could just be in the production and they didn't pick up it was him. It's a lot of possibilities. We can't say for sure, but this is where we are. So in case you were curious who has been cast, or at least one person they cast, the probability is it was Ty Sheridan. Was that a good choice or a bad choice? That we can debate, but it's probable that it was Ty, and we do have some independent evidence. Again, it's flawed, but we do have some evidence that it was probably him. All right, this has been Gurm Analyzed on the Worlds of Dune. Thank you for listening.